Crochet pattern design is still needed with the rise of AI. AI is rapidly improving every day, so I thought I would see how well it understands the mechanics of crochet and how well it can apply these understanding to creating a full complete pattern. The AI program that I've used is Chat GPT. I asked it whether it could make me a crochet pattern for a piece of jewellery of its choice. The AI decided to play it safe and selected a crochet flower necklace as its design. The only problem was that initially it just gave me general directions. It didn't actually give me a complete pattern to work with. So I went back and asked it to give me more detailed step-by-step instructions to create this flower necklace. This has resulted in what looks to be, at a first glance, a complete pattern. But does it make any sense? Will it make a flower necklace or anything resembling a necklace at all? Let's find out. As we go through the pattern, anywhere where I'm unsure of what ChatGPT is asking me to do, I will ask it to clarify. I'm not going to make any assumptions or make any creative decisions on this because I want to see how well it can handle my questions. Let's get started.
The first part of ChatGPT's response was the materials list. It's asked for fine yarn in a main colour and contrasting colours. So I've gone with 100% cotton yarn in white, purple and rose pink. It says that I also need a needle for weaving in the ends, scissors and a crochet hook appropriate for my yarn. Now it does say 5.5mm on the cotton yarn, but I'm actually going to go with a 3.5mm hook as I feel that would make a more appropriate piece of jewellery. I don't want the holes to be too big as it's supposed to be fine yarn. The first thing that it asks for is to create a foundation chain in the main colour, ensuring it comfortably fits around my neck. I'm just going to create a slip knot and then I'm just going to chain enough to make the base of the necklace. I'll do this fairly loose as there isn't much stretch in this cotton yarn, but we'll see how it comes out. So I've completed my foundation chain, 70 chain stitches, and then it's saying that for row 1 I need to double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook and then in each chain across. So I'm just going to count to the 3rd chain across. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to say double crochet. Oh, I don't know if this is UK or US terminology. Let me just ask. So it's told me that it is US terminology. Double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook and then to each chain across. So, as it's US terminology, we are going to wrap around and 1, 2, 3. So double crochet into the 3rd chain across, and then it's asking me to do it all the way down to the end, so I'll come back when it's complete. Right, so I've completed my first row and I've double crocheted all the way across to the end. Now it says for the second row there's no turning, well, it says rows 2 to 5 double crochet across to establish the base for the lace pattern. So I need to do another 3 rows of this. It hasn't asked me to do any chains, so I'm just going to go with it and see what comes out. So let's go straight in for a double crochet with no turning chain. And we're just going to see how this comes out. I'm starting to think if another 3 rows of this is going to be quite chunky, but we'll see what it's going to come out with. So I'm going to do a double crochet all the way back another 3 times, and I'll come back here when it's done. We're up to row 5. And then it's row 6. Now we're going to start a lace pattern. That's going to be another chunk up here. This is going to be quite a thick piece of work. I'm not really sure how well this is going to work as a necklace. We'll see how it works as a pattern in general. And perhaps if I'd used a much finer yarn, like perhaps embroidery floss or something like that, then it would be more realistic. But we'll carry on with it and see what we end up with, just so we know how well it can actually create a pattern. So for row 6 it's telling me to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then it's asking me to skip 2 stitches. So 1, 2, crochet into this next one. Then we're going to chain 2 and skip 2, chain 2 and skip 2, and then we're going to double crochet back into the next one. It looks like it's going to ask me to do this all the way across, and then repeat that for 4 rows. So it's just going to be an open square. We're going to skip 2, so not that one, not that one, we're going in that one. I'm going to chain 2, double crochet 1, 2, 3, so I'm going to finish that row, and I'll do another 1 or 2 maybe on top, and I'll meet you back when I finished the open lace pattern. So I caved and I did do 5 rows of the open lace pattern. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thought I better just follow the pattern as exactly as it is. And apparently this is the base of the necklace. So the next thing to do is to create some flowers to go onto this base. Now it's going to be a bit of a chunky necklace, and I'm not quite sure how that's going to curve around, but it looks a bit like a short belt or something like that. I'm not really sure how this is going to work as a necklace. So it says for one of my flowers I need to make 5 small flowers in a colour of my choice, so I'm going to make my small flowers in the purple. And to do that it's telling me to chain 6 and form a ring. So it's telling me to chain stitch 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, chain 6, and then join to form a ring. So we'll go back into that first. I'm just going to slip stitch that to make a ring. It's a good start. Flowers do start mostly with a circle. So then it's telling me to round 1 to chain 3 and then slip stitch into the ring. So we're going to 1, 2, 3, and then slip stitch into the ring. Interesting. It's telling me to do that 5 times. So it's 2, 3, 4, and the last one, 2, 3, and then slip stitch into that. That's the first round. It does look like a little flower, I'll give it that. That has made a little flowery shape. So we're off to a good start. We have a flower shape. So round 2 it's telling me to chain 2 and then double crochet. It doesn't say where. Oh, double crochet, chain 2 and slip stitch into each chain 3 space around. So chain 2, and then we're going to do a double crochet into the chain space. So that's the double crochet into the chain space, and it's saying chain 2 and slip stitch, I'm guessing back into there, and then into each chain space. So then we're going to chain 2, double crochet, chain 2 and slip stitch. So chain 2, double crochet into the chain 3, chain 2 and slip stitch. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So this is the last one. We're going to chain 2 and then double crochet into that chain 3, chain 2, and then slip stitch. So that's the round completed. Apparently it's a bit odd. Looks like you could do a joining back up there really, but you know, what can you do? It's written by AI. So then it says fasten off, and that is the flower. So I'm only going to make one of these because I don't really think it's a very good pattern. So let's just snip that off and pull that through. There is the complete. Let's trim that as well. Actually, while we're here, I'm not going to worry about trimming these short because it doesn't really matter. They're not going to be worried about longevity. It could be just about be passable. If we'd have done another chain 2 there, it could have been better, but that's not what it asked me to do. So we are following it as it's asked. It doesn't really look like a flower anymore, so that's a shame. And for this it's saying to chain 8 and join to form a ring. You can see where this is going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's saying slip stitch back to join to the start. And then it's saying chain 4 and slip stitch into the ring 8 times. So we'll chain 4 and then slip stitch into the thing. So we've got 1, 2. So I've got to fit another one here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and slip stitch into the base. So again, not a terrible start. It has petally shapes. Probably would have been better to leave it as that, but no. AI says to carry on. Join with a slip stitch to the first chain. Well, it's already joined, so I'm not really sure where it's asking me to chain a slip stitch into. So we're just going to do it in there anyway, because that's what it's asking. So let's just do a slip stitch. Whoops. Into the base of that chain then. So join with a slip stitch to the first chain, right? There we go. So round 2 is to chain 3, double crochet and chain 3 and slip stitch into each chain 4 space around. Oh, here we go. So we're going to chain 3, double crochet into the center, chain 3, unless it means slip stitch over here afterwards. Now let's ask Chat GPT. I've asked Chat GPT for some clarification, and it's telling me to, for round 2, chain 3. So chain 3, and then double crochet into the same chain 4 space. So double crochet into the same chain 4 space, right? Chain 3, and then slip stitch into the same space. Interesting. I'm not really sure what on earth it thinks it's doing here, but okay. So then we're doing chain 3, double crochet into that, and then chain 3 and slip stitch into the base. Oops, try not to twist it up because, you know, don't want to ruin it. Oh my god, what is going on here? So then slip stitch that into the base. Do you know what, that's where it's modified it. It does look a bit more like a flower, give it that. It's actually better than the small ones, isn't it? So let's fasten off as it's telling us to. And then I'm going to remake the purple one with the new, more detailed instructions. I imagine it's going to be a smaller version of this one, but let's have a look, shall we? And then we can put it all together. I'm just going to do one big and one small because I'm not going to waste any more yarn on this, to be quite honest. So we'll give it a go with the small one. And I'll see you when I've recrocheted the small version in the same way as the big one. So I've just done one more of the flowers. It's, even with the slight variation, it's still not great, is it? So we're going to give up on that. I'm not going to make any more flowers as I don't think it's going to improve it anything. And the next step, it did tell me to sew these on and then add some embellishments such as beads, sequins or crystals to the centre of each flower and sporadically within the lace pattern, and then also attach clasps to on either end of the necklace, although I don't quite know how it's asking me to attach jump rings to the end of my necklace, so I don't know if it means perhaps in the corner. I'm not really sure how that would work, but I think it's safe to say this pattern's not really been much of a success. It has made a meaningful effort at making a pattern. It has made it has made something, so it has got some kind of understanding of stitches, but it doesn't seem to be able to quite execute it to the degree that you'd need to make it a good pattern. So it's made a pattern, but it's not a good one. I think it's safe to say your jobs are safe, pattern designers. It has made the larger flower isn't as terrible. It's not great, but you can see it was trying to make a flower shape. It started off really well. The first round I was really impressed and thought it was going to go somewhere well. It just didn't really understand where it was going with this last row, I don't think. And these smaller ones are really, really unfinished. They would at least need another bit here. Even then, it would start curving inwards because there's only 5 spokes. There perhaps should have been another spoke. Yeah, I don't think I'd rely on Chat GPT for my crochet pattern designs. I think I'll stick with making them myself or finding a good designer for a project that I want to do. Okay, so after I filmed that last bit, I had a little bit of a play around and I discovered that I might have assumed that it was the wrong sort of necklace and that actually it was more like a collar style one, because if you put the jump rings together at the back, it actually does make some kind of necklace, like a collar style one. You can see where the bottom part sits, and it does say in the instructions to attach the flowers to the lacy part, so I may have to take back a little bit what I said. I mean, it's still got some way to go, you know, the flowers are not finished, but actually it has made a really good attempt at that. Certainly with a bit of work that would be a usable pattern. Obviously it would definitely need some tweaking, but then, you know, AI isn't going to know, you know, the ins and outs of crochet, but the fact that it's even made something that does resemble some kind of collared necklace, I'm a little bit shocked, I have to say. I still don't think that it's going to replace crochet pattern designers, but yeah, I'm quite shocked. So there you go, a necklace designed by Chat GPT. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with future videos.
Thanks for watching.